So, I don't know if you all had heard about this, but you all remember when Viscera, aka real name Nelson Frazier, when he had passed away last year. Well, it looks as though his widow, Cassandra Frazier, she has decided to file a wrongful death lawsuit against WWE literally just 1 year after his death. And the lawsuit, the way it's looking right now, she's alleging that her husband Frazier died as a result of injuries he suffered as a result of working for the WWE. Mind you, Nelson Frazier hadn't worked for the WWE for a couple of years right before his death, as he was all over the independent circuit doing his thing, was even doing a couple of movie roles, things of that nature. She alleges that WWE's wrongful conduct gave rise to the long-term consequences of multiple concussions and other serious permanent and disabling injuries during Nelson's career with WWE. She's also accusing WWE of holding back on important medical information and research and misinforming Nelson and other WWE talents about the risk of working for the company. The lawsuit says Nelson had large knots on his head due to the scar tissue on his skull forming into permanent bumps, and he had evidence of indentations to his skull. It also adds the 124-page lawsuit. It also mentions that he had severe symptoms of neurological injuries and other physical trauma before passing away, including severe migraines that he sought medical attention for. The suit says Frazier suffered from severe depression, something else he sought medical attention for. Did I just repeat that twice? I hope I did not. The suit continues that Frazier has sustained serious long-term brain damage from his WWE career. Frazier's broken spirit and body left him virtually penniless, and he was forced to pay cash for medical services in the months before his death. Cassandra has made 9 claims against WWE, including negligent misrepresentation, intentional misrepresentation, fraudulent concealment, ferocious liability, fraud by omission or failure to warn, punitive damages, wrongful death, and loss of consortium by herself. Now, that loss of consortium, home in on that. Basically, what that means is she was not able to have sex with him as a result of him passing. Yes, that's exactly what it means. I'll let you guys marinate on that one. You guys that probably remember Nelson Frazier, Viscera, Big Daddy V, you guys are probably like, wow, so she's actually tripping over the fact that she wasn't able to have sex with that guy? Like, shouldn't she be happy that he's not getting on top of her? I agree. But no, look, in all seriousness, this is nothing but about looking for a big payday. That's what this is all about. And look, I can chime in some very important information with regards to this. Now, look, when Nelson had initially died, I remember his partner from Men on a Mission, Bobby Horn. He had tried to take care of the funeral arrangements, things of that nature, and Cassandra had claimed that whatever money was raised by Mr. Horn, that he basically pocketed a vast majority of it, and that when it was all said and done, Nelson Frazier really wasn't able to have a very nice funeral. If I'm not mistaken, I think she actually ended up cremating him or whatever. So she was just going on this tirade about how, you know, she got screwed out of money, blah this, blah that. And, you know, I just remember like when Nelson originally passed, because I was actually following her on Facebook and I was checking out her activity and all that. She had her friends basically telling her, hey, isn't it kind of messed up? And this was on a Monday Night Raw. Isn't it messed up that WWE didn't acknowledge your husband? They didn't do a graphic of him or anything. And she was just on this whole ugly smear campaign of the WWE. Then later on that week on SmackDown, they did a in loving memory tribute image thing for him. And about 2-3 days later, she's like, oh yeah, WWE, look, I know I said some messed up things about them, but they're the nicest people. You know, they were more than sincere in reaching out to me and asked me if there was anything that I needed. And let me just tell you, without revealing big numbers, but they took care of me very well financially, because they gave her a little something. So you're like, oh, okay, all right. So I thought it was a little bit odd, but I said, you know what? Hey, she's a widow. Maybe she's in mourning or whatever. Okay, whatever. And now a year later, you got this stuff that's going on. Now, let me stress to you guys, when he passed initially, leading up to the funeral, we reached out to her and was like, look, we were big fans of your husband's work, especially in the WWE. We are not trying to interview you and, you know, we sell it on the downloads and all that. We basically do a free podcast. The people we bring on the show, you know, they don't get paid, and, you know, it's just all about in good faith. So we'd love to have you on the show. Talk about your husband. Let's celebrate his life. Let's celebrate his legacy. Celebrate the solid body of work that he left behind for generations of wrestling fans to enjoy going forward. And we can spread awareness about how people can send their money directly to you, so that you can take care of any medical expenses, funeral, mortgage, utility bills, things of that nature. And we got back a shitty ass message that said, oh, that's sweet, thanks. And it's kind of like, okay, what the fuck? Right afterwards, I remember she did like a shoot DVD, and they were talking about how all proceeds were gonna go to her and her family and all this other stuff. And I'm kind of like, okay, that sounds kind of weird, but alright, I guess she's trying to do what she needs to do to try to bring in the money or whatever. I remember we tried to reach out to her again, as right after the funeral and all that other stuff had went down. I remember she went on Facebook and she was just blasting a lot of wrestling websites. She was blasting a lot of shows, as she felt that those that she did speak to, they were taking a lot of the things that she was saying out of context, and they were trying to portray her to be this villain and all this other shit. We reached out to her again, and we reminded her how we try to reach out to her to spread word about trying to raise money for Nelson's funeral and all that. And we told her, we said, look, you know, we're sorry that you're having these problems that you're having when speaking with the media, but again, we'd like to put the invitation out there to you to work with us. Anything and everything that you say, we will have an entire transcript of the interview be available. We're not going to alter your words in any type of way. You can trust us. We have a very good reputation when it comes to interviews. And she basically came right back at us and she said, unless you're gonna pay me, I'm not doing it. And we're like, excuse me? And she's like, you know, I'm not trying to miss work and miss a day's pay just to be doing a free interview. And we came right back and we told her, we said, hey, look, us over here, we work 9-to-5 jobs just like you. We're talking about trying to put an interview together around your schedule when you are free to be able to talk. We're not trying to put you in a situation where you have to miss work or anything like that. That's the last thing we want for you. We know things are tough for you as it is financially. We just thought we would try to give you that olive branch because we see you mentioning how the media is getting it wrong. Well, here's an opportunity to get it right. But you know what? It's okay. Hey, we were fans of your husband's work. We'll continue to be fans of his work. we wish you nothing but the best. And then she tried to come right back at us and was like, oh, I'd love to do the interview. And it was kind of like, at that point, it was like, fuck off. Cause you're just, originally when all this was going on, I was just saying to myself, bitch, you whacked and you just looking for a payday. But I kept that to myself. I didn't bash her throughout social media. I didn't talk about the experiences that I had with her and my exchange with her of words, but she's just looking for a payday. That's all this is about. I do not see this going anywhere. That's the bottom line.